The pressure is now on federal and state governments to deal with the Senate committee's findings about wind farms and its recommendation for a wide-ranging health study. In a moment, we'll speak to one of the country's biggest wind farm companies. But first, Rebecca Bryce reports on what the Senate inquiry heard.
It feels like my head is in a vice.
These are the people who've been pushing for the winds of change in Victoria.
I can't remember the last night that I had a full night's sleep. Usually we wake up at least 5 or 6 times during the night.
And South Australia.
I was nauseous, and at night you can hear a very loud pounding if the wind's in the right direction.
And now they've succeeded, in part at least. The women are among dozens of people across Australia who blamed wind turbine noise and vibrations for making them sick. TRISH Godfrey has since moved from her home in Warborough, north of Ballarat, after her property was bought by the wind power company Acciona. But it's her story and others which led to a Senate committee review of the social and economic impact of wind farms. The committee received more than 1,000 submissions and heard from all sides of the debate.
And then eventually heart palpitations, which were a massive concern.
Government risks choking wind farm development just when Australia needs a strong pipeline of projects.
Yesterday, in its final report, the committee called on the federal government to prioritise research into the possible health effects of the turbines, including low-level noise or infrasound. But its findings were qualified.
The committee does not doubt that some people living in close proximity to wind farms are experiencing adverse health effects, but these are not necessarily caused by the noise characteristically produced by wind turbines.
It's also recommended a new policy for setbacks be considered, along with a faster and more independent complaints method.
We have found that there have been adverse health effects found in some people near wind farms. However, and this is a very, very important however, we have not found that that is necessarily associated with noise or vibration.
The Clean Energy Council welcomes this report. It provides a balanced review of a number of the issues surrounding the development of wind farms, and it indicates that there is no need to slow the rollout of this technology across Australia.
In its defence, the industry has relied on a National Health and Medical Research Council statement that there is no published scientific evidence to positively link the turbines with adverse health effects. But the council says that statement has been taken out of context.
The context is a lack of evidence, so that statement isn't saying that there are no effects, it's saying we don't really know. And we'll await further evidence to find that out.
The Senate report isn't the only blow to wind farm developers this month. In a first for South Australia, a court rejected plans for an Acciona wind farm in the southeast because it would damage the visual amenity of the area. That's upset one of the state's strongest supporters of wind power.
A large part of our success in building an international reputation for hosting wind investment has been our commitment to making the regulatory environment as certain as possible. The government will now be considering its options for maintaining that certainty in the light of the court's decisions.
Back on the health issue, the Senate committee warns any research governments pursue may be open to criticism because they have a vested interest in the industry, including subsidies for renewable energy.